Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janet.
Good morning.
Good to have you back.
I am glad to be back.
Good
How are you this morning?
Yeah,
yes.
good.
Perfect. Good morning, Ayo. How are you?
I'm very well.
Perfect.
Great to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Guess who's back, Jean?
Yes.
He's back.
Oh, thank you all for checking in. Thank you, thank you,
Bless
thank you.
you.
Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In Russia, Sergei Shoigu, the country's defense minister, made his first public appearance since a mercenary uprising demanded his ouster, inspecting troops in Ukraine on Monday. In a video released by his ministry, Shoigu is the first of three powerful Russian leaders whose diverging interests led the Wagner Group occupying a Russian city and marching on the capital to be seen since the revolt ended on Saturday, June 24th. President Vladimir Putin and the Wagner Group chief, Yevgeny Prigozhin, have made no public statements since then. In Nigeria, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Abiodun Lagbaja, and the Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Ikechukwu Ogala, participated in the traditional pulling out ceremony for the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, who recently retired from the Army after 35 years in service. The Nigerian Army pull-out parade ceremony is in line with the military tradition of honoring retiring senior officers of the rank of general who served without blemish. Under sports, Carlos Alcaraz won his first title on grass and regained the world #1 ranking with an impressive victory over Alex de Minaur in the Queen's final on Sunday. Alcaraz's triumph means he moves above Novak Djokovic in the rankings and will be the top men's seed at Wimbledon, which starts on July 3rd. The 20-year-old Spaniard now hopes to emulate his compatriot, Rafael Nadal, who triumphed at Queen's in 2008 before going on to win Wimbledon for the first time a few weeks later. Then, Nigerian-born James Inaji over the weekend became the second youngest player to be drafted in the 2023 National Basketball Association. The 18-year-old basketball player was the only Nigerian and the 31st pick in the NBA draft. He was initially drafted by the Detroit Pistons, but traded to the Boston Celtics and then was acquired by Michael Jordan's Charlotte Hornets.
With the 31st pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select James Naji from Makurdi, Nigeria.
James Naji is actually heading to Boston, Detroit.
Go ahead, it's your time, baby. It's your time, baby. Get my baby.
Finally, under entertainment, Afrofusion star Burna won the Best International Act at the 2023 BET Awards on Sunday. It is a third win for the musician, who took home the plaque for the category in 2019 and in 2021. The 31-year-old star beat fellow nominees, Nigerian's Aria Star, Central C, and Stumsy, among others, to win the award with his 2022 album, Love Damini, which has achieved worldwide success.
The winner is, you heard me? It's Burna Boy. Yeah!
Then, Afrobeat star Davido got the crowd up dancing with his performance at the BET Awards. The 30-year-old star sang an array of songs from his latest album, Timeless, including Unavailable.
I'm unavailable. Them know they see. I'm unavailable.
You're not very shy. I'm very shy. I'm very shy.
I don't even know how to do it. Do you know how to do it? No, I don't know how to do it. Yes, that one. Well, what can we say? Dr. Abati, you are doing it. Please. All right. Congratulations to our big stars, really. And also, Busta Rhymes received the Lifetime Award. I think that was stunning. Another win. He did. Another win for Burna Boy. Congratulations. Well, let's begin what's trending. The Global Financial Summit, hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron last week, continues to generate mixed reactions. President Tinubu attended the summit alongside other African leaders, including South Africa's Cyril Ramamposa and Kenya's William Ruto, among those seizing the opportunity to present their country's challenges on a global stage. While some analysts have commended Tinubu's outing at the financial summits, others have argued that the president rather kept a low profile and lost an opportunity to secure financing that would support the country's ailing economy. Tinubu, however, held an interactive session with Nigerians in Paris, where he encouraged the promotion of unity, stability, and economic justice for all.
Nigeria belongs to all of you, all of us. Our diversity is an asset if we know how to use it for our prosperity. Born of the same father, in the same house, except living in different rooms. We must promote unity, stability, and economic justice for every one of us.
Well, the president revealed during that interactive session that the removal of petrol subsidy was not contained in his inaugural speech on May 29th, but he summoned the courage to say full subsidy is gone. He also broke his silence on the suspension of the CBN governor, stating that the nation's financial system under Emefiele was rotten. After that session, Tinubu left Paris for the United Kingdom on a private visit, eliciting more reactions from Nigerians. Let's take some tweets. Well, this is from Bayo Nonuga, who wrote, after a successful Paris outing, President Tinubu off to London on private visit. President Bola Tinubu on Friday concluded his official trip to Paris, France, during which he had an outstanding participation in the summit for a new global financing pact hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. Well, Ojo in response wrote, successfully outing. He traveled all the way from Nigeria to France just to attend banquet and eat. He even hung around until the summit was over to snap pictures. This is so embarrassing. A first summit for that matter. He was even given a slot, but he chickened out at the last minute. Well, Nathan wrote, does the president of a country have the right to privacy when using taxpayers' money? Don't we deserve to know what he is going there for? Well, Nefertiti wrote, 3 speakers of Nigerian descent were scheduled to speak. Tinubu, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and Akin Adeshina. They had different topics. Tinubu chickened out at the last minute. Nigerian ambassador had to represent him in a live session. So Tinubu could not deliver a keynote address or a closing remark. Well, she further stated that how is snapping photos with Nigerians in Paris any type of achievement? Senegal and Zambia already struck deals to restructure their $6.3 billion debt at the summit. So I need to start seeing the benefits of Paris' trip to Nigeria. Did we sign any bilateral or multilateral deals? Well, during the summit, an interaction between Kenyan President William Ruto and French President Emmanuel Macron about the need for global taxation went viral. The Kenyan president called for a new financial architecture where power is not left in the hands of a few people.
We need a financial transaction tax at a global level where even countries like Kenya pay. We do not want anything for free. You will pay more eventually because you have a bigger economy. We will pay commensurate to our economy. And we want those resources controlled not by IMF and World Bank. Because IMF and World Bank, you have the final say. We don't have no say. We want another organization of equals, where you have as much say because you pay as much as we do because we also pay. That's the organization we are looking for. And that is why we are saying we need a new financial architecture where governance, where power is not on the hands of a few people.
Well, you know, Rufai, Dr. Abati, Nigerians are waiting to see, you know, a video clip like this from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I guess that's where the outrage is. I mean, I don't know if we have that video. I haven't heard anything from their handlers at this point. But another story that was going out there on social media was the fact that he was also scheduled to speak. I believe it was at the Ensuring More Reliable, Comparable Information and Data Summit, and he was absent there. So, I mean, you can understand why people are outraged as well. People are outraged at the fact that the president traveled to London after that summit. Rufai.
I think part of the president traveling to London after the summit, I'm really iffy about that, because he said he was going to return earlier and all of a sudden then to London. He should remember that once you become president, people will hold you accountable. And secondly, he also missed a great opportunity to speak on behalf of Nigeria. And we want a leader that has that oomph to push and negotiate when things are being talked about on the table. Look at what Ruto was talking about. He was talking about something germane for Africa. But anyway, the argument I will make is Ruto fails to understand a very interesting Yoruba adage that says, what it means is if the child is not strong enough to hold the butt of a knife, you can't ask who killed your father. Africa will always be shortchanged except our leaders do right for Africa.
Well, that is why he's asking for a separate financial architecture where they'll all have a say.
You don't ask for it. You take it. How do you take it? You take it with economic empowerment of your continent. Look at what Modi is doing in America. Signing deals. America welcome Modi because they respect him, because they see India as a veritable partner. The West doesn't still see us that way because we're not pushing our weight in terms of economic development. And that's why, rather than just asking, nothing will happen. But I'm happy about other African leaders. I would have wished that our own leader, made those bold statements. Look at the likes of Hichilema of Zambia. Look at the things they were able to say. And that's why we keep calling on effectiveness on our electoral process. And it goes a long way. Secondly, all of the talk about, it didn't take pictures, it took pictures. We don't need that controversy. No. What we need is how our leaders can go out there, represent our country, get more deals into the country, and give him the support and give him the criticism when necessary. It's as simple as that. I'm also very happy that at a time like this, Nigeria is shining like a million star. You had the president of Africa Development Bank, Nigerian. You have the World Trade Organization chairman, DG, Nigerian. And these people went out there to make us proud. Our president who had his time in the sun in Paris. But what we're saying is, the unseen words, the most deals that are done by the words not said. The interactions, the things you can do, sitting on panel, announcing that Nigeria is here, and being able to get deals in. But except Africa stands tall on its own, we'll never be able to get anything done. And there's one story I think I particularly missed because I have to yield the floor now.
All right then, Dr. Abati.
Okay, first, I have a slightly different view. When you were introducing the subject, you said President Tinubu lost an opportunity to play big on the global stage. That's
not to play big, to secure.
Secure deals. Okay, that's what you said. Yeah. To be specific, but that is not true. It's factually wrong. When President Tinubu went to this summit in France, we were told that he met with other world leaders. That was specifically stated in a statement by his spokesperson, Mr. Dele Alake, to attract investment to Nigeria. He was quoted as having made the statement that to ignore Nigeria will be perilous for the universe. He secured, of course, investment promises from Afrexim Bank, Professor Benedict Orama, who said that, look, they're already building a specialist hospital through Afrexim Bank in Abuja, but Afrexim Bank is committed to doing more for Nigeria. Also, the president of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, he met with her, and she herself also promised that, look, the EBRD is prepared to do business and invest in Nigeria. And President Tinubu, reminded her that, look, consider us a major stakeholder in this development process. Now, every country makes its own sovereign choices, designs its own programs. President Tinubu's handlers, for one reason or the other, may have designed their program in that particular manner. I think that would be overstating the matter by comparing statements made by Ichilema, who was able to get a deal with China over debt rescheduling, debt repayment, and Macron, helping to get that deal through. Or the president of Kenya or the president of Ghana, making the point about fairness, equity, and justice. In my view, those points about fairness, equity, and justice, those points...
Are you saying it's unfair to compare our president with those? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that every country decides its own priorities. So asking that it's compulsory for President Tinubu to take the podium, you don't know what the considerations may have been. But in terms of the trip being a success, I think it was successful. It was a good outing. And I think another part of it, during the panels, Nigeria was represented in one of those panels by the Nigerian ambassador to France. It's not as if we were voiceless there. But what people want is to see President Tinubu also being quoted as having spoken like President of Ghana or President of Kenya. Don't forget also, this is his first major international outing as president. So we don't know how they planned the program. But I think it was also good that he took time out to engage with Nigerians in the diaspora. It's a traditional thing that, Nigerian presidents do when they go abroad, to remind the Nigerians in the diaspora that they are major stakeholders at home. They've not been forgotten, and I think that he should do more of that, because what you will discover is that Nigerians abroad, they are even more concerned about what is going on in Nigeria, than even some of us that are here. However, what the president said there with regard to Emefiele, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. The president goes to an international forum and he says, the financial system was rotting under Emefiele. I mean, I thought what we were told is that Mr. Emefiele is in custody with the DSS and that he's still being investigated. Now, the president's word, carries a lot of weight. That will amount to, the president almost unilaterally subjecting Emefiele to a trial. Absolutely. And he was telling his audience that under Emefiele there was multiple exchange rate. Many of you could not send money home. I think, the president should just stay strictly on the part of the rule of law. If Mr. Emefiele is being investigated, all that the president needs to say is to say that, look, the rule of law will take its course. But to go and pull him down, publicly like that, I think is a bit somehow. Then, of course, he made the point that fuel subsidy was not in the speech, that, he added it himself. Well, in any case, there's no big deal about that, in my view. After all, the Buhari administration extended the fuel subsidy regime till the end of June, June 30, okay? And the provision in the 2023 Appropriation Act of about 3.3 trillion will not go beyond June 30. So even if he said fuel subsidy is gone, then he wasn't saying anything really extraordinary. What people can say legitimately is that, before all these steps that have been taken, we should have worked out the interest of the poor people of Nigeria first. Now that everybody now is saying exchange rate has gone up, fuel subsidy has gone up. Yeah, I even hear, as I told the Rutos.
No, Dr. Bat, it's fine. Don't say that.
Okay, I shouldn't. I shouldn't say it. In any case, he has gone to.
Off your mind type of.
We are told he has now gone to London, but we have also been reassured that he'll be back before Salah. So we hope that that promise will be kept. But let's cut him some slack. Where it goes wrong, though, we'll come with sledgehammer.
Yeah, so these are my views. That is the point. A lot of analysts are saying either we should cut him some slack or the deals that you have just quoted we're not strong enough.
Who says they are not strong enough?
Well, that's those are analysts, and they have a right to speak. I mean, it's everywhere. They are economists.
So
they're not Twitter analysts.
This point, this is the point.
They're not Twitter analysts.
140 word intellectuals.
Rufai, I think you remembered something.
So I remembered something.
Yeah.
I thought, this was what I remembered I wanted to say. I think the president should not have gone there to say that he reneged against his aides and he decided to announce subsidy is gone. Mr. President, you don't know the hardship you caused a lot of people by not listening to your aide. You have no idea the pain a lot of people have been plunged in. I know it's courage, but courage without planning is dangerous.
All right.
Because it plunges people into untold hardship and the economy has not recovered from it. I don't think it's right to have been able to say that. I think it should have been thought through. Not now thinking of a palliative after it had been done. Even as everybody criticized Jonathan and said Jonathan was terrible and all of that, Jonathan still planned for palliative before he removed subsidies. I don't think it's right on the suffering people, and it's an indictment and it's painful for them.
All right, Ayo, I would love for you to just analyze this last story that we have, which is the controversy that trailed. I mean, I'm not going to talk about this blasphemy story that happened in Sokoto because it is a huge story, and I will need for us to discuss that. If you can pull up Okonjo-Iweala's story, which was a huge controversy during that time where she had posted some photos of, other presidents, other world leaders, and, people were condemning her for not posting President Tinubu. First of all,
there's so much to do about photos, social media, and the positioning. On two sides of the argument very quickly. One is that obviously Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is Nigerian and she leads a world-wide organization. And we talk about the influence that the Nigerian government had in her emerging as WTO president. So she's our pride and joy. Hence, when you go for such a global conference like that in France, you'd expect that she would give priority to the president of her nation. So some people wanted to read some mischief, but she's come out to debunk it, saying that she posted according to what her handlers had given her to post. So it wasn't intended to be malicious or to be underhanded in any way. I do understand the concerns of patriots who are saying, put us on the national stage,
yes,
we should come first, this is your country, you should be proud of us, but not in a second stage of pictures. I do understand that. But also I would ask that in the same way that we've been asked to give the president or cut the president some slack, also cut her some slack. Yes. She has a lot of countries she's working with and a lot on her plate. So arranging of pictures or the order of pictures should not be forefront of her, of her issues. However, you would understand in diplomatic terms, you want to showcase your country and be proud of your country in terms. So maybe going forward, she should always remember to put her president's picture first to douse tensions.
Just wait. Right. Well said, Ayo. Well, thank you all for your great analysis as always on What's Trending. I wish we had more time. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.
OjyOkpe is back.